Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mike D checking in here, man. I wanted to take some time to give Shannon Sharpe props for his Scarface interview and Scarface as well. What an incredible interview. And for people who haven't seen it, man, you got to go check it out. I think that the way that he interviewed Scarface, to me, that's the way that hip hop podcast, in my opinion, should go. I mean, we're talking about the music, we're talking about the artists, and I know everybody's not Scarface. Not everybody's going to be able to take you on that musical journey from composition to writing to the musicality with the band in the back. But I thought it was an incredible experience. For people who've seen Scarface's Tiny Desk, which I thought was incredible as well, the first 30 to 40 minutes of this interview with Shannon Sharpe sitting down with Scarface looked like before a show where he was walking him through some of his great songs. Now, there were a lot of songs that were left off, but he did a lot of stuff that was from the fix. One of the things he walked down was Mary Jane. Then he walked down Guess Who's Back, My Block, I Seen a Man Die, Smile, and he ended it off with This Can't Be Life. But the way and the intention this Scarface has when he puts together his music, I mean, he's such an artist. And I don't say this in any way to slight other MCs. I think we get caught in the rhymes, we get caught in the cadences, and we get caught in all these other things when it comes to patterns and all those things, which are great. But Scarface is one of our artists that is an artist where he's thinking about the end result. He's thinking about the song and how not only the lyrics come together with the song, but how the music comes together with the song. One of the things he said that stood out to me is when he talked about making the fix and being at Def Jam, and he was saying it was such an easy album for him to make because all he had to do was rap. The music was already there, and it made me think like, yeah, we discount how involved Scarface was in the musical part of the process throughout his whole career. He was, he plays bass. He was involved in the instrumentation. Even the way he was talking about how Mary Jane came together, like there's very little to no sampling, at least especially in the South at that time, when it comes to Southern hip hop artists. Now, I'm not saying this, just to kind of give the South, a leg up or props or whatever, but the truth is, back in the 90s and 80s, South either wasn't getting those sample clearances or just, going rogue on it. So a lot of Southern producers or Southern artists or MCs had to come up with the music themselves or with their crew. It had to be hands-on because sample clearances really weren't a prevalent thing for us, right? Saying all that to say, I mean, even when you think about songs like Space Age Pimpin' by 8 Ball and MJG, produced by T-Mix, like to think that there's no sampling in there. That's just straight up instrumentation, composition. Those guys put that together. Like that's all we knew at that time. And Scarface is a product of that. And so how hands-on he was with his projects, obviously the Ghetto Boys projects and stuff too. Like he is unsung in that manner. And to me, that makes him such an all-around artist. Now, I do want to really talk about his writing process. And if you haven't seen the interview, go check it out for sure. But he's so personal and personable with his music, even if he's inebriated or whatnot. He's really digging in and giving you those moments and giving you his life and his music. Even when he was performing some of these songs he was talking about, just some of the lines, how he's able to speak about his life. He's giving you everything. Even his verse on Smile, like I didn't even really think about it in that context. Man, him and Tupac could have made so much great music together. I would have loved to have seen a whole collaborative album from Scarface and Tupac. But how he put together his verse on This Can't Be Life. Now I have this whole notion, like I wish Jay Beans and Scarface could have came together with an album because the 3 songs that they made together, in my personal opinion, are perfect. And all 3 of those records, I think on each record, each of those three guys has the best verse. I think Scarface has the best verse on This Can't Be Life. I think Jay has the best verse on Guess Who's Back. And I think Beans has the best verse on Somehow, Some Way. And it's so balanced. It speaks to how balanced they are as a collective. And I got to give Jay props too, because Scarface and Beans live in this personable dimension, whereas Jay doesn't really live in that dimension, but he can go in that dimension. And the fact that he rhymed with those guys at that level in their lane each time, I got to give him props for his versatility on that. Like, it's incredible. It gets no more personable than Scarface, but him speaking about his verse on This Can't Be Life and how it came about and how he was headed to the studio and he got a phone call from a friend of his that was speaking about one of their friends or mutual friends lost one of his kids. And it was 2 years old, and his son was two. His son Brad, it was going on 3. And he, in that moment, going to the studio, he sat there and said, I'm gonna write about this. This is what's going on with me right now. It's hit my heart. It has my heart so heavy. I gotta put this out there. And and he even said it in the verse. If I wrote about my own self, this wouldn't be right. And he immortalized that situation and that grief in that moment over a classic record, man. And it's just incredible. That's how artists think. And we don't have many artists in hip hop, urban culture, period, that are like Scarface. That's why, to me, Scarface kind of stands alone, and his place in a top 10 list to me is cemented. I think when we call him the best rapper to ever come out the South, which he is, I think that's even limiting, right? Like, he's one of the greatest writers, hip hop artists, period, that we've ever had. We want to talk about songwriters, man. There's a very, very short list when it comes to being in a conversation with Scarface. Now, I think he's top 10, period. But if we're talking about just songwriting, he has to be top 5, in my personal opinion. Now, let me know what you guys think, and go check out that interview as well, man. Again, shout out to Shannon Sharpe. I love to see, great journalism, and I'm always going to give props to great journalism. But, man, Scarface, you're one of our greats, man. You're one of the greatest artists that we've ever had, period. So shout out to you and the work that you've done. And anybody, if you can go catch Scarface on tour, you should, because it's a moment and he gives experiences. And I'm glad that he's hitting the road and hitting the stage and giving these experiences that his songs have given us over the decades in live settings with live instrumentation and giving you a whole experience. But hit like and subscribe, guys. Hit the like, subscribe button. I was gonna say hit the bell icon so you know what I'm saying, when posting up new videos and whatnot. And yeah, I want to hear you guys' comments about Scarface, man. What's your favorite Scarface song? Do you think Scarface is a top 5 writer, top 10 MC all time? And yeah, man, talk to you guys soon. All right.